Why does a narcissist push you away over and over and over again? You get closer to him and he pushes you away. There starts to be this piece drop of his mask, and you start to see vulnerability, you start to see something underneath, and he pushes you away. Like, why does he push you away where he's like ready for you to leave? He's like, please just like go, like get out, and kicks you out of this house. And then he contacts you later and he's like, please come back. Like, I can't live without you. Like, I need to have you in my life. Like please don't do this to us. Like, I still want to be with you. Why does narcissist push you away and then beg you to stay? And why is this happening? Have you had this happen to you? If you've had this happen to you, just leave a comment below so other people know that they're not alone. If you guys are new here, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist on this channel to help provide awareness of narcissistic abuse. I help eradicate and get rid of the trauma bond and the triggers that have been keeping you hostage. I help women that are victims inside of toxic narcissistic relationships to actually be free, grow their confidence and clarity by getting closure. Understanding what's happened to them, understanding the abuse they've actually suffered, and how to actually break free mentally and emotionally with this. I even talk to narcissists. I've got about 10 to 12 narcissistic men that I work with, trying to help them actually deal with some of the traits. They're ones that reached out to me because they had an awareness and like, hey, I feel that this is how I've been showing up. And I'm like, all right, let's talk. Let's work on this. Let me show you the path that I walk down. I need you to understand, like, in going through this whole process, oftentimes you will get to a place where the relationship seems over. Relationship seems dead, gone, like you just need to leave. And then you get ready to leave and it seems like he's been constantly pushing you to leave. Maybe he's even brought up divorce and he's like, we're going to get divorced. And you're like, okay, let's get divorced. And then you start moving forward with it and he's like, I can't believe that we're getting a divorce. And you're like, well, you said that you wanted a divorce. No, I didn't. Like, I just want to be with you. I love you. I care about you. Like, you'll see the switch. And we see the switch happen oftentimes at the end of the relationship, over and over and over again, where he's like pushing you away and then he's begging you to stay. Why? There's this piece inside narcissists that is always going to be repulsed by closeness, connectivity, and vulnerability. And so this piece of like, you're getting too close because you might actually see more of the shit inside. So I'm going to keep you at bay first by having up a mask. First, you're only going to see this version of me, this pretend version, okay? That's what you're going to see. Then once that's broken, you're seeing like the real shit underneath, but I can't let you get vulnerable, so I have to be able to put up other walls. I have to rage out, I have to gaslight, I have to lie, I have to manipulate, all these things to keep you at bay. See, narcissists don't want to get vulnerable. They don't want to get clear. They don't want to get down deep into their soul of who they actually are and connect with you. It's scary as all get out. So he's like pushing you away. I see the narcissist will continue to push you away over and over and over. And it's this weird back and forth of like, well, there's going to be shame if she sees who I am, so we push her away, but there's also shame of pushing her away, so let me also pull her back. And all of a sudden you start into this cycle. Now the cycle then becomes how he's reaching back out and he's like, please, like, just stay with me, be with me. This is the first time you're going to see him cry. This is the first time you're going to see this level of emotion. And you're like, where did this come from? Where have you been hiding this the whole time? Like, I've never seen you cry. I've never seen you have this emotion that's going on here. Because he's trying to build an emotional connection, an emotional bond to actually keep you stuck, to keep you there. He doesn't know, what am I going to do without her? Because if she's not here, then who will I have? I'll have to sit with myself and actually realize it's my fault. So that's why as soon as you leave, he'll be interacting with someone else. True story. When my wife finally left, she left and took her daughter, moved out of state. Wasn't too much longer after they pulled out of the driveway that I made a phone call. Having to play the victim to another person, having to have another supply, having to have another person that was in my corner. So I didn't have to deal with the guilt and the shame. So I didn't have to be alone. When you're actually leaving, when you're actually filing for divorce, when you're actually moving through this process of like, okay, we are separating, then you'll see him oftentimes flip the script and beg you to stay. He's pushed you to leave. He's pushed you to go. He's pushed you away. Now he's begging you to stay. Why? He's begging you to stay because in that moment, there's the reality that hits that he's lost the manipulation. Like he's lost control over you. Like you're at the place where you're like, okay, I'm done. Over. Washing my hands, I'm out. And he's like, yeah, no, I pushed you too far now. Now, this is the part that people get confused about because then they're like, well, wait a second. Doesn't that mean that he loves me? Doesn't that mean that he cares? Because he's showing me this emotion. He actually seems like he wants me to stay now. Doesn't that mean Answer is no. The reason why answer is no is because typically what you'll see at the end of the relationship is you'll see everything change. And out of everything that changes, the majority of it will be stuff that you wanted him to change to start off with. Like stuff that you said, hey, this is what I want in the relationship. And you would never give it. You would never interact that way. He would never show you those things. He would never call you. He would never be kind. Like there's all these different pieces that you specifically wanted. And at the end of the relationship, all of a sudden he starts pulling these out. He starts giving you flowers, and he's never given you flowers. He starts taking you on dates, he's never taken you. He starts doing all the things you wanted him to do. And I need you to understand this one simple fact. When he starts doing everything at the end of the relationship that you always wanted him to do, it tells you this one simple fact. That he always knew. That he always knew. Sit with that for a moment. Because I need you to understand that he always knew everything that he was withholding from you. And so then when he's actually giving you all these things at the very end, it's not this great gesture of like, wow, he finally gets it. He had his epiphany. He's changing and growing, developing. No, it's him being like, wait a second. I guess I'll finally give her the stuff she's always wanted, that I always held back from her because I wanted to and because it was manipulating her. Now it's not manipulating her anymore. So let me actually give her what she wants. Will it last? No. Is it long term? No. It's just a temporary thing to be able to get you with him. Narcissist will push you away and he'll beg you to stay. He'll do the same thing because he doesn't want to look like the bad guy. He doesn't want to look like it's his fault that you're actually leaving. So he'll push you away and then he'll beg you to stay as you're getting ready to leave so he can tell everybody else that he tried. True story. This is my story. This is other people's story. I was talking to a client just a couple of days ago and she said that he actually indicated that. He's like, well, I'm going to try. That way at least I don't look bad. I'm going to try so I can tell people that I did try. Like he literally scripted it out for her. She didn't realize it in the moment because she was like strung out on everything else. But she realized, wait a second, like this is really toxic. Like he's telling me his plan. He's telling me, hey, I'm going to make your life hell and I'm going to fight for the kids so that I don't look like a bad dad. That's it. And so you need to understand a lot of times a narcissist is going to push you away, beg you to stay so he can have a better image to himself and to other people out there. He can play the victim to his next supply of, look, I'm trying to interact. I'm trying to get my kids. I'm trying to like spend time with her, like all this kind of stuff to play victim to the next person. You're like, how would that work? It works every time. We see this happen so many times. Narcissists use you to be a victim to the next person over and over and over again. And here's this thing that happens is you start to believe that he actually wants you to stay. You start to believe that there might be a reality that he's actually changing and growing and developing. You start to believe in something that might be happening and you think maybe this will work, maybe this will happen. And then you give it one more chance and then you realize, wait a second, nothing's actually changed. And you're like, okay, let me leave. And then he begs you to stay. Because narcissists is going to go through this push-pull back and forth, and it creates this confusing dynamic that typically leaves you stuck and trapped, and you're not sure, what do I actually do? What do I actually believe? How many of you have actually gone through this cycle? Pushed you away, begged you to stay. Pushed you away, begged you to stay. Pushed you away, begged you to stay. How many of you have actually gone through this cycle? Leave a comment down below. Because I need other people to see this happens all the time. And until we actually change your mindset to see it, to understand it, to have an awareness, but also take action, put in healthy boundaries, change your mindset so that it doesn't affect you the same way, it will keep happening over and over and over again. There's no end in sight with this. Because he knows I can keep manipulating you. I can keep pushing you away, begging you to stay. Pushing you away, begging you to stay. Push you away, begging you to stay. And he'll do that to be able to protect his image, to look a certain way to his friends, to his family, to his coworkers. He'll do that to be able to confuse you so you stay stuck, so you stay naive, so you think maybe it'll change, maybe it'll get better. He does that to give you hope, so you stay long term. If you're struggling inside this cycle and you've seen it happen over and over with the same person or with multiple partners, please reach out for help. The cycle is not going to stop just by you watching content, you getting knowledge, you going into contact with these people. It's not going to stop till we change your mindset. Reach out for help. Go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough.